Which marker is the best of all time? That's what we're here to find out today. For many years, I have placed one marker brand above all others. But over the last few years, a new marker has come along, and with their changes and price, they may just be the new king. My name is ADCArtAttack, his name is Bob, and this is Worth It. Okay, so you're probably thinking, why am I making this video again? I made this video already. Well, it's been a long time since I did that comparison, and since then, Ohuhu have changed. In fact, they didn't have many markers. They also weren't as highly praised in some areas as they could have been. And since then, Ohuhu have made more changes than anyone could have predicted, expanding their product to ridiculously new heights. Now, I have had my bias for many years and have been right behind Winsor and Newton since I first picked them up over 13 years ago. I'm getting old. If you've never used them as of this moment, for now, these are, in my opinion, the absolute best markers on the market. That may all change by the end of the video. Oh, bugger. Let me drop them. Now, I'm not paid by these brands. Today, you're really heavy. Whoosh. But my job as a content creator is to both entertain and inform you on decisions that will help you improve and enjoy your art as a hobby, but also try to save you a little bit of money where I can. So, where should you be spending your money? For today's comparison, I've prepared for you this lovely Barbie sketch, which was completed live on my Twitch channel. And you can follow me there for regular live artwork as well as behind the scenes of the YouTube content. And this video today will be slightly different to my previous comparisons, as I'll be grading the markers on a scale between 1 and 10. This will give you and I a chance to better identify a winner on a more general basis. And at the end, I'll be sure to give you my personal winner, which will be based on personal preference. So with that out of the way, let's get started with Ohuhu. These pens are nothing short of incredible. To have come onto the market in such a short period of time and spread like wildfire across every single platform, it's pretty impressive. And the range of colors from Ohuhu is outstanding, with an incredible 320 colors available in one complete collection. However, after doing some research, not including duplicates, Ohuhu seem to have more than 400 different colors available, making them the largest color range I have ever seen. Ohuhus are an incredible option at an average price of $1 per marker if you buy as a collection or with the ink refills. Okay, stop. So things aren't going well already. I'm using marker paper here, and I knew this was a bad idea when I started. If you don't know, marker paper, terrible. Don't use marker paper. So, reluctantly, we're gonna start this drawing over. There we go. Now, the quantity of their range hasn't impacted the quality, with their inks still being of extremely high standard. However, each of these markers today do tackle very different styles when it comes to the inks. Some markers tend to go for a more natural, softer color in their ink, whereas others go for a more saturated approach. One isn't necessarily better than the other, so this is a more preference-based thing, and that's how I'm going to tackle this, which just makes it more difficult. Yeah. Ohuhu are very saturated, with colors that are bright, vibrant, and achieve incredible single layer coverage. These factors make them incredible choices for those wishing to create comic or cartoon style artwork, where the styles are brighter and more eye-catching. However, the issue lies in the caps not always matching the inks. You will probably want to make a color chart when using these, which fortunately is supplied with the markers. Although I should say, I never have. And when I work, I do select my colors based on their caps, and it's been pretty good for me in the past. Oh my, the blending. It's all right. So working with Ohuhu is comfortable. I feel a lot of control when placing my colors. Though I gotta say, I do find that the Ohuhus are very, very dependent on having those mid-tones. And what I mean by that is, while blending is good, it's not great. If you have a very light and a very dark tone, blending them together will not be smooth. So the mid-tones are there to bridge the gap between the lights and the darks. And Ohuhu are really dependent on these. Now this is true for many markers. It's not just Ohuhu, so I'm not going at them specifically here, but it is especially true for their markers. So just be aware, if you are interested in blending, you may need a large pair of hands to handle all those markers. Right, so chances are you know this brand. Because they're everywhere. Ohuhu have marketed themselves and made their markers available almost everywhere you can think. There are very few places you cannot purchase these. But not just that, in the few short years that Ohuhu have been on the market, they have released refills, various different nibs, replaceable nibs, different marker casings, and many different sets to suit your budget. No other company is coming close to the expansive range we have available here. So I would say, for availability, they're definitely the best. But let's talk about those brush nibs. The Ohuhu brushes are different. They're firm. But what's incredible here is the resilience of them. After many months of usage, they somehow maintain their shape. And that's very cool. But you know what's even cooler? You can flip them! Yeah, they're double-sided. Now that's cool, but pointless if they're not good. And I'm very happy to say they are very good. The precision of them allows for great control, though they do have a much faster than average ink flow, which does make these smaller areas a little more challenging despite the fact that we do have a sharp point. Of course, you do get used to them over time, but it's certainly an acquired style and less natural to those familiar with a traditional brush. So, needless to say, the Ohuhu markers are incredible. The results speak for themselves, and we will discuss them more at the end of the video when both sides are complete. But for now, to say to someone that this is the cheap side, you could probably fool them pretty easily. So now it's time to move over to the other side. Winsor and Newton. Now for these, unlike the Ohuhu, I will be switching between the brush and the fine nibs for a couple of reasons. First is that I simply do not own enough of them anymore, as they are no longer my main marker. And this one? This is running low on ink. Whoops. Second, the entire range of colors are not available in both brush and fine nibs. So while you may want a full collection of brush nibs, it's simply not possible. However, as we will discover, it may not be entirely necessary. The Winsor and Newtons have a range of 189 colors in total, with around 72 of those available in the brush variant. It's a respectable range of colors with a little less padding. Now when it comes to the inks, this is probably the easiest area to rate. While Winsor and Newton are in the category of marker that aims for a softer and more natural approach versus the Ohuhu's saturation, even with this being a matter of preference, it is impossible to deny the quality of ink we have here. With an impressive single layer coverage that allows for gradual laying within just one marker, we also have an amazing color matching happening here between the caps and the inks themselves, with little to no swatch testing needed, saving you a lot of time when finding the markers you want to use. Easily one of the leading examples of how this area of design should be tackled by other brands. When it comes to blending within alcohol markers, Winsor and Newton are almost uncontested. I have never seen a marker that comes anywhere near the smoothness that these markers are capable of bringing. Although my choice of pinks here are causing me some problems. but I'll fix that later. And unlike the Ohuhu and other brands, these markers are not so dependent on those mid-tones, which is a huge deal. To achieve smooth blends, you can use as little as 2 markers in some areas with a substantially different range of tone versus the Ohuhu. So where previously I had used up to 6 markers to achieve blends with Ohuhu, plus 2 if we factor in those grey shadows, I'm only using 3 here. And this is due to the Winsor and Newton ink flow rewarding steady pacing and those of you with greater control and experience. So yes, these are certainly a marker with a far higher skill ceiling than many other markers. But unlike Ohuhu, you probably haven't used these markers before. I don't know why these markers are so hard to find in stores. However, you can purchase them online as we will discuss soon, but those prices get a little bit tricky. Okay, make of that what you will. They also lack many features such as replaceable nibs, refills, and variety of casing. This is it. That's all you get. Yeah. Heavily limiting their range and accessibility has allowed Winsor and Newton to refine their product. However, for the availability, I have to be harsh here, as I don't see them offering enough by way of personal preference or choice. I'm so sorry, guys. This one hurts me too. But coming off that, we enter what will be the most controversial point, and that's the nibs. Specifically, the brush. As I said previously, this is both an objective point and a preference. So taking this into consideration, Winsor and Newton are a soft brush, Ohuhu are a hard brush. 2 very different targets with different goals. And the Winsor and Newton are the best soft brush. Objectively speaking, the brush acts like a brush. They also have the absolute best ink flow for rewarding skill. And while flow is certainly a preference, it is again impossible to deny the objective truth that they are perfect. So there we go, both sides are complete and looking very, very nice. At face value, it is incredibly difficult to say with any sort of certainty which is worth it. Both sides excelled in many areas, and while they each have different target markets and styles, they are both still very impressive. But the question of the day is which is worth it? The Ohuhus coming in at a price tag of $1 per pen, or the Winsor and Newtons at a price of up to $5 per pen? Well, during this video, we looked at varying factors, and based on these results, the Ohuhu are objectively the better marker. Now, of course, objective doesn't mean preference, and perhaps some of these areas aren't as important to you. For me, however, and my worth it winner, and in my opinion, the best marker on the market is the Ohuhu. I do hope you had yourself a wonderful time here today in this video. I look forward to seeing you again in the next one. And if you do want some more content from me, check out my previous video. And subscribe. It's free. Click the little button under the video. Yeah. Bye.